Jack Bauer in 24 isn't just the man who always gets the job done, he's also the man who breaks every rule in the book to do it. Over 9 adrenaline-pumping seasons, and a movie, Kiefer Sutherland's iconic CTU agent stopped world-ending terror plots, survived an endless gauntlet of torture, betrayal, and heartbreak, and took more lives than some of the villains he hunted. But while 24 consistently delivered tension and excitement, it also did something more controversial. It let Jack off the hook again and again, and at least 8 more times for good measure. His brutal methods rarely result in real consequences, at least not from any authority figure. However, that's exactly what makes 24's best episode so compelling. The series operates in a heightened reality where the ends justify the means, and where Jack Bauer's chaos is the system. On a surface level, Jack is a hero. Peel back the layers, however, and he's the show's most volatile weapon. What makes him so effective is also what makes him so dangerous. The brilliance of 24 isn't just in the pulse-pounding format or real-time gimmick, it's in its full embrace of a deeply flawed man doing unforgivable things in the name of justice. And without that, the entire show would fall apart. Jack Bauer gets away with too much throughout 24 and it's pretty unbelievable. Bauer creates as many problems as he solves, but 24 never really holds him accountable. It's no exaggeration to say that Jack Bauer in 24 walks through every season like a hurricane with a gun. In the name of protecting national security, Jack defies orders, kidnaps suspects, tortures information out of them, and leaves a trail of bodies in his wake, including a few innocent bystanders. That's part of what makes 24 so gripping, but also what makes it so blatantly unrealistic. In real life, any federal agent acting with this level of recklessness would probably be disavowed, prosecuted, and imprisoned before the first commercial break. However, in 24, Jack not only survives, but is often vindicated for his completely reckless and inarguably dangerous methods. He gets pardoned, welcomed back into the fold, and even called a hero. This isn't just a stretch of believability, it's a necessity of the show's formula. The writers essentially constructed a system where Jack's actions, no matter how extreme, are justified retroactively by their success. He prevents nuclear attacks, stops presidential assassinations, and uncovers deep-rooted conspiracies. So any fallout from his decisions is brushed aside because, ultimately, he wins. This isn't to say that Jack Bauer never faces consequences, he does, especially emotionally. It's more that the lack of legal or political accountability becomes more pronounced as the series goes on, and this means 24 gets less and less realistic with each season. For example, in Day 4, he fakes his own death to escape arrest. In Day 8, he murders a slew of people in a revenge rampage, and the government response is to let him walk away. If 24 were a grounded political thriller, none of this would fly. It's not though. It's an action-fueled fever dream where chaos reigns and Jack is the storm. For the audience to enjoy 24, they must accept that Jack Bauer in 24 is above the law, not because he should be, but because that's the only way the show works. The over-the-top nature of 24 isn't a flaw, it's a feature. The show thrives on heightened stakes and relentless pacing, and Jack Bauer in 24 is the embodiment of both. His total disregard for rules, protocol, and even his own well-being is what propels the show from a standard procedural into one of television's most pulse-pounding thrillers. Without his volatile approach to problem-solving, the series would lose the very chaos that makes it work. Jack isn't just a character in 24, he's the narrative engine. Every time a superior tells him to stand down, he charges ahead. When diplomacy fails, he picks up a gun. When the system ties his hands, he breaks free. His instability becomes the thing that ensures justice is served, but it also makes him unpredictable, dangerous, and fascinating. 24 leans into that contradiction with total commitment. 24's refusal to tame Jack Bauer is what separates it from other crime or spy thrillers. Characters in The West Wing or Homeland face serious internal debates over morality and legality. Jack Bauer just acts, dealing with the emotional wreckage later when whatever threat is causing carnage to stop is neutralized. That wildcard energy gives every season of 24 its signature intensity, and it's what keeps audiences hooked even when the plots go off the rails. Jack Bauer in 24 isn't a good guy in the traditional sense. He's a tool of destruction masquerading as a protector, and the show's brilliance is in never apologizing for that. It leans into the harsh truth that is only effective because he's unhinged, and it knows that's what makes the ride so thrilling. 24 wouldn't be the same iconic thriller without Jack's wild actions. The high-stakes, relentless tone of 24 depends entirely on Jack Bauer being a dangerous loose cannon. Kiefer Sutherland plays Jack Bauer and holds a gun up in the series 24. There's a reason 24 remains one of the most iconic thrillers in TV history. It doesn't hold back. From its real-time format to its non-stop escalation of threats, the show is built on immediacy and intensity. At the heart of that chaos is, always, Jack Bauer. Most of the time, he's the cause of it, too, at least in part. Without his unpredictable, explosive nature, 24 wouldn't just be a different show, it wouldn't be 24 at all. Jack Bauer in 24 is more than just a hero, he's a symbol of the show's core identity. Every twist, betrayal, and high-stakes confrontation is fueled by his personal sense of justice. If Jack followed protocol or paused to weigh the moral implications of his actions, entire seasons would grind to a halt. The thrill comes from watching someone push past every limit and dare the world to stop him. That raw aggression is what gives 24 its heartbeat. The best scenes in 24 are Jack Bauer's signature moments, such as executing a suspect mid-interrogation in Day 2, breaking into a Chinese consulate in Day 4, or torturing his own brother in Day 6, are unthinkable in any other thriller. However, in 24, they are part of what makes Jack so compelling. His actions, while often morally indefensible, are treated as necessary evils in a world where time is always running out. If Jack Bauer had been more restrained or realistic, the show would lose its bite. It would become just another procedural instead of the cultural juggernaut it became. The success of 24 lies in its willingness to let Jack go too far and never look back. Because in the world of 24, saving the day requires someone who doesn't care how it's saved, and that someone is Jack Bauer.